Welcome back to the show. My guest today is Kalipi Olson, race director for the Koa Mauna Hard Enduro in Oahu, round 2 of the AMA West Hard Enduro series. Expect to learn what is in store at this year's race, from course details to racing format. The challenging terrain and rightfully dubbed Hawaiian ice provides racers with a unique experience and is a true test for all those willing to put it out on the line. Enduro Method is an online strength and conditioning program built for those who ride by those who ride. We are professional coaches dedicated to building the best and most revolutionary off and on the bike training for dirt bikers around. Enduro Method offers a monthly subscription which gives you access to our ongoing current training program. By subscribing to Enduro Method, you receive our Iron Track, which is for those who have a gym or gym equipment, and our Gravity Track for those with minimal to no equipment. We design our training for riders who want to keep their general physical preparedness in top form year-round. If you are interested in joining the monthly Enduro Method training subscription, we are offering a special discount for our podcast listeners. Use discount code EMPodcast23 in all caps for 50% off your first month of training. See the show notes where you can find discount codes and a link for more information and to sign up for Enduro Method. And now, on to the show. 2 big weekends, right? Coming up this Saturday, February 24th, you got the Ultimate Hawaiian Hard Enduro, and then the following weekend, the Hard Enduro that's on the US Series. So what's the exhibition weekend all about?
Exhibition, yeah, the guys out in Kauai, the Ultimate Hawaiian Hard Enduro. So that's pretty cool for them to get I guess the mainland exposure now and get a few of the pros out there and checking things out. I think they're running a different format than they typically do. I mean, normally they'll do like that standard like Hawaiian style hare and hound. I believe they're doing like a 2-lap thing, and then like the last lap is something new, something kind of harder for everybody. I could be wrong, but that's like the last thing I did here. And they've been at it. They've been working super hard. They already had like a pretty decent enduro cross course out there, and I seen a couple of videos that they kind of beefed that thing up quite a bit for this event, which is pretty cool. Which is going to be nice too, because they'll get to leave that up, and guys will get to ride it for forever now. And then also every Labor Day they do a big event, so they'll get to probably beef it up again, but they'll get to use that course more out from in the future.
Nice. And was this just another way to get more racing in kind of close together?
Yeah, I think so. You know, like the big idea I kind of always had with like bringing like the series here, or like the mainland racers here, or the industry here, was to kind of try to unite all the islands. I never really wanted anything where it's like specific to one island. I'm on Oahu, so it had to come here first, but to kind of share it with everybody, so each island can kind of showcase who they got. Ultimately, I wouldn't mind trying to get like a triple crown thing going between the 3 islands where we compete against each other, and then in the end maybe we can finish it off with like the series coming here, and whichever island it's on, that's where you'll crown the Hawaiian Triple Crown champ, which would be kind of cool. So small little step right now with the 2 islands. It's not, the ultimate goal isn't to compete against each other. It's to just bring us all together. That's how I like to view it. But little island competitive nature to it too would be kind of cool.
Yeah, nice. And it definitely gives the people that are coming over, gives them another opportunity to get over there and spend more time on the bike.
Yeah, we got different terrain out here. I mean, we didn't ever realize that until with the more exposure, getting more people coming out here. The Hawaiian ice, as it's now being called, it's being referred to.
Yeah.
I guess it's like, I want to say it's like the proving ground. Like we have a pipeline out here for the surf spot, and that's like the proving grounds for surfing. If you can't make it at pipe, you can't make it anywhere. So I want to think that for hard enduro, Hawaii is the proving grounds. If you want to be a hard enduro rider, you got to come out here.
Nice. So walk us through the March 2nd.
March 2nd, yeah. Koa Mauna Hard Enduro. We kind of changed up the name a little bit. We're still part of the Endurofest thing, so they'll blanket the two races. I'm not doing a lap thing this year. I'm going into the traditional Herrenhound Hawaiian style. Um, a lot of guys are questioning me, so maybe I'll do a little mini like riders meeting through the podcast right now. But the first loop or the first clover, it's the A and B riders and pros. They'll start together, and you'll follow your designated ribbon color. Then you'll split. So the B riders and the C class will split off into their own little section, and the A class and the pros will split off into their own section to be a little bit harder. It'll rejoin back to common course. It'll do that several different times. And then they'll head back into the gas check or mechanics area. You can fuel up, gas up, say hi to your family. When you leave for that second loop, the second clover, you're not splitting anymore. Everybody's just in for it. So if you're a B rider, you're gonna get your money's worth for this one. But it'll start off tame for them, for the B guys, and it'll ramp up pretty good. But you got to be ready for that one. It'll get a little more challenging for the top A's and the pros. They're gonna have a lot of fun through it. It'll kind of beat them down a bit, and then we'll move into the third loop. That's where a lot of the brand new sections we made, brand new courses we made. So the new one we got called Bazooka, and I personally designed that one myself. I don't know how I came up with that layout. I know Josh Shecker is out here. He got to see it. There's a little bit of video he's got still that he's gonna post with it. But that section, I think in total is probably a mile long. I think it'll take some guys 2 hours to get through that. Just switchbacks, off cambers, big gnarly rocks you got to get over. Some brutal foot brake side off cambers, some walk down downhills, spits you out at the end right into about a quarter-mile long riverbed. And it's all slippery, just that Hawaiian style nastiness. You'll use a little pig trail. You'll get out of that. We'll put you into a new hill climb that we cut called Bad Orange. And for the Kauai boys, the way I describe it is it looks just like Satterfield's Gut is a trail they call. I kind of compare it to Satterfield's Gut out there on Oahu. So the Kauai boys will probably enjoy that hill climb. That's the best comparison. A lot of the Oahu boys that made it that far in those races know what that looks like. And then if you can get through all that third loop, you'll be all right. You'll struggle along still, but you should be able to finish as long as you can make it to the last cutoff point, which isn't too far away.
What's the total mileage for the 4 loops, and then what's kind of the individual mileage on each one?
Man, that's the hard part. Like, I didn't ever get to run the whole course yet. I got a couple different guys out there manning their own loops. I kind of oversee it all, gave the direction of like, this is where it has to go. You guys can find everything in between and clean it. So that first loop is my dad and this new guy out there that's helping me. He's been around for a long time. This guy Magic Martin to help me a lot. So I got a good little loop going. I don't have the exact mileage on that. If I was to guess, maybe 5 miles, maybe I'd say. Second loop, I got this guy we call Sprocket Man, Jeremy Milknuckle. He's covering the second loop pretty good. He's an old timer. He's not old, but he's one of the old timers. He's been cutting Herrenhounds out there since about 1994. The club that he was a part of, Kamoi Omakaha, put on a lot of our races that were pretty brutal. They usually only get about 5 finishers or so. And then the third loop is myself and a bunch of guys who would randomly jump in on weekends. So I would put maybe total mileage for the whole event, 20 miles, maybe a little less. It's a ballpark. I'm still trying to get a map, little GPS map done out there with Onyx. It's tough. That's all.
And then you got a 6-hour cutoff for that?
Yeah, as it sits right now. So I'm gonna do it'll be a 6-hour cutoff or until first place crosses the line. So if first place doesn't cross, the race is still going, and everybody gets their chance. Because I wouldn't want to cut off first place from being able to actually cross the finish line. And then at that point, once he crosses, then we'll start shutting down our checkpoints. The earlier checkpoints will be closed down sooner. So the first checkpoint, I'll probably close in about 2 hours, just because if you're taking 2 hours to get there, you don't really want to see what's coming at you next. It'll be kind of tough. And we don't want to be out till dark rescuing people like it has happened in the past.
Right. So what made you switch to this format this year from last year? Because last year it was more of a knockout style, right?
Yeah. It's not anything about last year they kept saying that I was downplaying it. And it's really funny because I actually, up until last year, didn't get to see pros race at their full potential. Like, I know the first year we had Endurofest out here with Cody and Rich. That was the first time I seen pros race, but it was exhibition for Cody. So he wasn't at a race pace, as fast as he could. So the downplaying part of it all was just me not sure if it was hard enough or if it was challenging, if it would really, work these guys in. So it was supposed to be 3 laps right during riders meeting. We actually made the decision to cut it down to 2. And Tristan almost didn't even make the second lap, and he was almost actually going to time out. So we were getting worried that we wouldn't actually have an official finisher. So we were going to adjust from there just to give an official. And he came through in Tristan's fashion. He pulled through. I think he had about 10 minutes left before the time expired. So I wanted to move into this year because I felt like last year was more of a I think they burnt themselves out more because the first day they felt like it was just going to be easy like that. So they kind of pushed really hard in the beginning and they just exerted too much energy. Mm-hmm. So with the guys coming back this year, they have a different mentality of like, all right, take our time here because it's going to be like this there. So I wanted to try drag the event out a little longer in mileage, in toughness, knowing that they'll have a different mentality. Don't make it a lap race, make it just grueling, relentless.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely got to be a learning curve, just to, like you said, not seeing what they're doing necessarily, especially like at home at your local area, mm-hmm. right? And trying to put something together that you're not quite guessing, because you have guys who are amazing riders and doing it all the time, but that's also what they ride all the time. So having all the other people come in and get a good mix of folks and then go from there, and that's what you got this year.
Yeah, so see what we get this year. There's days where I'm like, man, are we gonna have a finisher? And then there's days where I'm like, yeah, we'll get a bunch of guys to finish, and then I'll digress again, like, oh, we're gonna get any finish? Who's gonna get this far, and then, oh, it'll be okay. Then I'll talk to this other guy got helping me, Kai Morgan. He's like, well, if you're sending them into this area, man, you're not gonna get anybody to finish. And I think about it like, okay, do we have to cut this part out? But we'll see. I mean, these guys are tough. Everybody knows what's coming at them. So guys been on this year. They've been training hard.
How many compared to last year sign up wise? How are you looking?
I actually didn't. I got a look at the list 2 days ago. I think we only had about 70 guys, so I think it's less than last year at the same time. I think people are getting scared this year, which is odd because in the past years prior, the high volume of signups were for the races that were harder. Everybody wanted to challenge themselves a little more. So the Hare and Hounds, that's where you get like 300 participants, and then the sprint races you'd get a smaller volume, and that's now changed. I kind of want to say more people are wanting to watch, being that there's a little more hype behind it. There's pros that are coming out, like Cody's coming out this year, so people, not that they're scared of it or anything, but they're more amped to get to watch what's happening, because even in the past nobody hyped to go watch races or watch our races. Everybody kind of just hung out in the pit area and just waited for their dad or brother or whoever, nephew, whoever it was, to come through and help them out. And then last year I was out there kind of just checking course, and it came up to this one section. There was like 300 people there. I was like, oh my God, we've never had that before. Yeah. Whereas like I go out to the mainland races and it's like, it's a party everywhere and there's people everywhere. Like it's kind of cool to see that changing here, because I've always wanted spectators in our trails. But then now it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, oh, can you guys race and not watch?
Do you give out any type of spectator map or point people in a direction to go see of sections that would be fun to spectate?
Usually I just tell a couple of people, like, oh, you guys can go to this trail or that part of the mountain. And the word spreads quick enough. I'll have like spectator ribbons hanging. They can kind of follow it. But for the most part, the telephone line, everybody just lets everybody know, and they make it out there on their own. I would like to get a spectator map. I got a lot going on. I need to designate somebody for that.
What about track walk for racers?
Nope, no track walk this year.
No track
I like
walk.
that. They changed that in the rules this year, so I was happy to hear that. It's like, perfect. I don't want track walk. You guys got to figure it out as it comes at you. I think it makes it a little more interesting. Like Erzberg, they just did that. There's no track walk this past year, and it made it a little more interesting for those guys, a little different. It was fun kind of watching them loop back around and get lost for a little bit. Where with Hawaii, it's you're just in the trail, you're in the trees, so you're not going to take the wrong turn here or there. You won't get as lost like that.
Right.
But I like it without track walk.
Yeah. So you got riders meeting day before.
Yep.
Kind of going over everything, and then one start Saturday and right into it.
Yeah, riders meeting with a little expo out there. I got a few guys out there that's going to talk. I think Mark Ikeda is going to be out there. Rich Larson's going to talk. We got Smart Carb, I think, is going to be out there as well. They'll do a little presentation. We'll have a few other local vendors out there. Montgomery Power Sports, Coila Motors will be out there. We'll also have dinner for the riders. They can purchase a ticket. A couple other little things. I'll be selling. My wife will be out there selling some of the merchandise we got. So this year, thanks to my wife, she got some hats going for everybody, stickers. We'll have event T-shirts. We still got some T-shirts from last year, so we'll be selling those. And then we'll finish the night off with a riders meeting, which is kind of a new thing for us to do riders meeting the day before. Like Kauai has done it pretty often, where they'll do the riders meeting the day before. So for us, we'll do it the day before, and everybody go home and get hydrated.
Get ready.
Mm-hmm.
What about you got some stuff leading up to the event? So I think, what is it, Cody and Rich are doing a clinic?
Yeah, Rich's clinic sold out really quick. I believe that, if I can remember correctly, it was Wednesday, might be Thursday. Rich will be doing one. I believe Cody's doing one. and Max is doing a clinic as well. I know Cody and Max for sure already are doing clinics on Kauai, so that's pretty cool.
That's
Give
right.
those
That's
guys,
one
yeah,
I think I was looking at that was paired up.
yeah. So that's good. The talent there is just amazing, especially with the youth riders that are coming up. So it's really, really nice to be able to get some one-on-one training for those guys out there because it is tough just for Hawaii in general just to get any kind of training, and all the clinics have been on Oahu. So it's kind of a bummer to not to see it where those guys can't get anything for themselves other than just watching like videos online.
Right. How's the sport in general, the hard enduro sport?
Mm. As far as toughness here, or
No, I know. I'm sure that not that part, more just the growth and excitement around it. Because I know at least here in the States, it's just continuing to grow. You know, people are more and more into it, and so I was curious if it was the same over there or more like a hare scramble, hare and hound type thing.
um, it's funny actually. It seems like COVID brought more people into the sport. It's kind of funny to say that.
Interesting.
Like anytime you talk about COVID, it's like a negative thing. Like, oh, COVID ruined this and COVID ruined that. But when COVID was happening, like you couldn't even find a bike to buy because it was crazy. And there's tons of people that are riding right now, and now you can't sell a bike because everybody's got one. Um, and even I mean, I don't know as far as like how many people are getting attracted to hard enduro out here. It's kind of something you slowly have to get into and acquire, especially out here, because you could ride a trail one day and it's dry, and you'll go out the next week or next day and it drizzles just very little bit of rain, and now all of a sudden this little hill you're stuck on it, and the day before it was no problem. So I'd say it's growing, but to lure more people into the hard enduro side is it's a slow process.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel like, I mean, even over here, it's like if you've never raced, you probably don't want to make a hard enduro your first race ever. You know, there's a lot of other races that are going to feel like a hard enduro that are not a hard enduro that are a better entry level point. And then once you
Mm-hmm.
kind of get your foot in the door and get a feel for it, then of course explore your options. But first time, maybe just sign up for something a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's actually funny. Now I think about it. Last year, so we had the series racers and then we had the non-series racers. So it was ran through our association, Hawaii Motorsports Association, and those the non-series racers are more for like the entry level guys, the guys that are just getting into it, like families and things like that, or like the older gentlemen that got into it, or older moms that got into it a little later. They accidentally got mixed up with the series race and they thought it was supposed to be something easy, and they started the race and they were just tossed into like the lion's pit. And I felt bad. I was like, oh, I did my best I could at explaining that, but I had a good group of sweepers out there. They pulled their bikes out, they got them to the right course and was like, just head that way, you'll have fun over there, and we'll deal with like the refunds later. There was even some people that signed up for the series race that had no clue what they were getting into, but they wanted to do the series race. And no, we pulled them out. We wanted them to stick around the sports, and we put them into the non-series side. Just let them have fun there.
Yeah,
Had to do a little bit of saving on that.
nice. Yeah, what about all the boys and girls coming over and crushing mainland events? I mean, we were kind of talking before we started, but you guys are putting
Yeah,
up good showing.
man, 2023 for the Hawaiians. I don't think it's a secret anymore. Usually it's
No.
a we have like one Hawaiian out there, two Hawaiians out there, and people they don't know who we are, and they're like, "Well, these guys are doing great." But now I think like Donner, where else? Idaho I'm pretty sure if there was a Hawaiian in that class, they're on the podium. So I think like Idaho, we took all but like 2 classes. We took a podium on all but 2 classes. I might be wrong on that. And those 2 classes is just because we didn't have anybody racing those classes. So I think like one was like pro women's. We didn't have anybody racing that at that, over there. Like so far, I'm waiting for it. We haven't had an all Hawaiian sweep on a podium. We've had like first and third, second and third, or first and second. But I'm waiting for it. We're gonna get it, man. We gotta get it all Hawaiian sweep. We gotta get more people out there.
Yeah, nice. What about the
get
home?
more of the savages out there?
Yeah, what about maybe having that happen at the home turf?
Ah, that ain't too bad. we got what I want to see on the home turf is, I mean, even like last year, like Ryder Guest was actually starting to nip at Colton's heels a little bit. Him and Colton Haker are kind of getting a little battle going on just because Ryder knows the terrain so well. And then unfortunately he got a flat tire and then he couldn't really reel him back in. But we were looking at the lap times and we're like, oh, he might get him. He might at least get up onto his tire because they're pretty close. And every now and then he'd kind of drop a second or two here and there.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, yeah, we got good talent like Kana. Kana's been doing good too. So Kana boy just moved out of the amateurs up to the pro. He kind of had a mishap out there at King of the Moto on the qualifying day. He started, which put him on the main day, starting dead last.
Ooh.
And then pushed. I think he pushed up all the way to 16th overall he started in the very last row.
Wow.
And I believe him all the way up to 16th overall. So what I want to see is our local boys starting to chip away a little more at at these factory guys.
Yeah.
Which I think we can do it, man. I mean, at least on the home turf, I think we can.
You got any predictions this year?
I don't know. Boys are on. Boys are on. I don't know. I got the one award. I call it it's called the Kalipi award. So that translates to the chief. Last year Ryder Guest took that. So I keep teasing him every time I talk. Oh, what's up, Chief? How you doing, Chief? So it's just the fastest local.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I want to see who takes that. See if Ryder continues his ways with that trophy. If Kana takes it, we got Cavello. And then we got like the older riders, not old, but like my brother's is one guy out there. He's only a year older than me. He ain't old, but he's still trying to hang on to his whatever bits he got left.
Yeah.
We had a sprint race out here. We had a sprint race out here a couple months back, and Kana and my brother were just sitting on each other's tires the entire race. Like they didn't let each other out of their sights. I think it was a 3-hour race, and my brother had him all the way to the very last lap. I think Kana got in front of him at like the gas check or something, and it was just game on from there. And Kana ended up taking it, so it kind of dethroned the champ on that one a little bit. But so brother's trying to hold on to his what he has left of it before these young bucks come through. But then we also got like the Satterfields. Those guys they came through and they've been so dominant for so long up here, especially on Kauai, all those races. They're just the Omaha boys and they know it, And then wouldn't mind seeing other guys like Travis Talbot. He hasn't come to Oahu in a long time for a race, but he's another one. He's another guy I wouldn't mind seeing in the mainland. He's just natural, just Hawaiian beast, just built thick, I wouldn't mind seeing him out there in the mainland taking some names.
Nice. I remember hearing from just various people throughout after the race last year about just dehydrated.
Yeah.
You got any tips for people out there?
Well, this year I have a water sponsor. So I felt so bad last year. I did have water last year. Something fell through, I mean, sorry about that, but yeah, that's something I heard is like guys are coming in on some checks and they're just like, I need water. It's like, here, sorry, like I think I had one. I was at one of the checks and I was holding 2 water bottles in my hand, and Corridor Thunder came down, and I was actually sipping on it because I was kind of tired. He comes down, he skids, just snatches the water bottle out of my hand, just pumps it down his face, and grabs the next one. I'm just like, yeah, hey, yeah, man, take it, cool. I felt terrible though. It was like I was running around doing all I could to try to get those guys hydrated, but at the end of the day, you kind of are responsible for your own hydration. I don't want to sound, too mean about that, but some guys are going out there without even having a camel pack or anything on, or a hydration pack.
Totally.
So, we're all responsible for ourselves. I do have water. You guys will have water at the gas checks this year, or at all scanning checks. You guys will have water. So I apologize. But
I wasn't even honestly thinking that point. I was just in general, like where are you going to be able to have, make sure you got ample water at your gas stop, because you'll be in that Clover setup, right? You'll be coming back well, time wise will be different for everybody, but you'll have an opportunity to have water there that you bring or you provide either way, refill, make sure to have your electrolytes and all that stuff, some food.
Yeah. So at least at the gas check or mechanics area, when you come in, please just have your own water, have your own little snacks and things like that. Just provide for yourself, because you could pull up and all the water is already gone because everybody else was drinking it. So
Right.
it'd be unfortunate that we ran out and you're left with nothing. So just take care of yourselves. Like everyday life. But yeah, please bring out here, and snacks and poi. That's what we got. But yeah, we got staple food out here called poi. So
Yeah, what's poi?
that's more of a.
Oh.
It's a root actually, and it grows in a taro patch, kind of like a mud patch. You pull this plant out of the ground, you harvest it, and you smash it up, and it turns into like a paste. And it's actually a superfood. It's actually one of the best superfoods on the planet that a lot of people don't know about. But it's our secret. We're gonna keep it here. Don't take it. But yeah, poi is good for you. Got a lot of fiber and everything else. It's a slow burning carb.
Like a starchy carb.
Yeah, that's what I'll eat that the day before the race. That and pasta.
There you go. How many checks out on the course?
That's a secret. It's a Hawaiian secret. But we have we'll have as many scanning guns that the series provides. I'll be using all of them, and then I'll also have observation checkpoints. So it's just people tallying your numbers. You won't get scanned there. They'll just write you down, and then I hired a soccer team who's doing a fundraiser. So that's who my scorekeepers will be, or my checkpoint guys will be. It's a soccer team. Youth, they're all in high school, but they'll check you guys off.
Nice. Well, any other things you can think of you want to hit on?
Yeah, don't start training today. It's too late.
It's too late, yeah.
Too late. No, just it's good luck to the Kauai boys out there. The guys who are putting on that event, Garden Isle Motorcycle Club and Bertram and all those guys. They've been working hard. Rocco's out there as their trail master this year. And then thanks to all my guys who's been out there. slaving away, trying to get all the last bits put together. Big thanks to all of our sponsors that are helping. A lot of people stepped in this year to help out. The list is like, I got to read my phone to tell you who's sponsoring it. I mean, obviously we got IRC is here though. There's a lot of behind the scenes effort this year. There's a lot of people that jumped in to make this one happen. Just because it's a herring hound, or it's like our Hawaiian style herring hound. I know the mainland guys, they hear herring hound. It's more of a desert thing, but ours it's still point to point. But being that it's a herring hound and needed a little more help this year, just because it's a longer course, there's a lot more involved. And then traditionally, we like to cut brand new trails for herring hounds. Majority is brand new trails, so it's just a lot more involved with it. So just big thanks to everybody that stepped up. There's some guys that only came out there who are only able to come out once to help cut. There's some guys who have been taking off of work and cutting and sacrificing a lot of their time away from their family and things like that. So just big appreciation to all those guys. Thank you to my wife for just manning the ship for now while I'm gone most of the time out in the mountain, taking the kids to school and to practice and all that. So it's a big burden, big task with a lot involved.
Yeah, it's definitely no small undertaking. Yeah,
I think Hawaii, I'm not exactly sure. I think we're probably the most labor intensive stop in the series as far as trail cutting goes, just because everything grows back so quickly here. I start cutting a trail, we usually start 6 months out with cutting.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just the vegetation. That's why how quickly things grow. And I'll cut a whole trail. I'll come back in 5 months and it looks like we didn't do any work at all. I mean, you can see the difference, but it's like it just grows back so quick. It's kind of crazy. But then I can go on a trail. Like I went on a trail that has been closed for 8 years. No one even knows about it, and that thing is still pristine. Like barely anything grew. So I don't know. It's weird. That's kind of the cool thing too with this year. With one of my friends, Jeremy, who's been helping. He's like, yeah, I got this one trail and nobody rides it. I closed it off. Let's go check it out. So the last time it was ridden was like in 2004. So it's not a brand new trail, but nobody rides it. So everybody's going to think it's a brand new trail. We score on that side of it.
Yeah. Yeah, the stuff we cut in here, it lasts for quite a while before it looks like it hasn't been ridden.
Yeah. Yes, it's kind of funny it's a desert race and then jungle and then back to a desert race. It's pretty funny. We struggle with cutting, whereas the desert races don't. I'm like, man, they got it so easy. They don't have to cut any trails. And then I look at it, it's like, yeah, but then they struggle with having to ribbon. Like I was out there grinding stone last year. And it's like, I would hate having to mark this course and keep everybody on course and, hoping everybody's honest and not cheat or whatever it is,
Right.
like having to deal with like the course markings breaking and things like that. Like for us, it's pretty easy. You just hang the ribbon. We just go with the rule of ribbons on the right, hang the ribbons on trees, and the worst we got to worry about is like the wind blows and just get wrapped around a tree.
Right.
To have to constantly go around and make sure that the course markings aren't broken that's pretty tough. So I give it to those guys for having their system down.
Yeah, grinding stone is definitely unique in that manner. I mean, what do you attach the ribbon to? It's like, oh, we got to drill through the rock and put rebar.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know. I was talking with Checker last year. I was out there. I was helping him mark their course a little bit, and I was like, okay, well, what do I tie this to? He's like, oh, okay, so you're gonna take this staple gun, and you see that rock over there? you're going to staple it to the rock. I was like, what? That makes no sense. And then there's like long sections where you don't even have rocks. It's just sand. He's like, all right, now we're going to take this dog bag and we're going to put dirt in it and rocks and just put it on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, what? It's like, it was so confusing to me. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah.
it works. So it's crazy. And then I learned something from that because randomly we'll have stretches here where it's just a red dirt area. And I never knew how to ribbon it. So now I just use dog bags too and just colored dog bags, just put it on the ground. Cool. Thanks, Grinding Stone.
Yeah. Nice. Are you going to come back over this way after this next weekend?
Yeah. That's the plan, to go up there. Me and my wife are going to go check it out again. We might have the kids with this one, make a little family trip out of it. But yeah, we'll be out there, kind of see how things are.
Yeah.
And then we have Donner coming up, so we got my son. I'll take my son up there. He raced it last year. He had lots of fun. He did the hill climb. He ended up winning the hill climb, so I was all pumped on that for his age group. So yeah, we'll be up at Grinding Stone and we'll be up at Donner.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, yeah, I wish you the best of luck and great event and have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully one of these days, one of these years, we'll make it over there. I was hoping.
Yeah, just gonna say that you gotta come out here one of these days and find out what it's like. Find out what no traction is like.
I know. It would be a lot of fun. We thought it was gonna happen this year, honestly, and then just couldn't swing it.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, don't worry. The Hawaiians understand how hard it is.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, but that's another thing. Actually, let's touch on that a little bit, man. It's like it's hard for us to fly out. I mean, if we want to race anywhere else, then our here, if we want to go race somewhere else, we have to fly out just to Kauai, whole another island. You got to rent cars and all that, so it's expensive just to stay in Hawaii and race. And with Oahu, we used to have like 3 races a year. Now it's kind of dwindled down to 1, which is this event. A few months ago, we had a guy step up. He put on a race. I wouldn't mind seeing more people coming out to the sport and also putting on races, because the way I see it is, if we can do that good or do as good as we're doing right now in the mainland, and all we can do is race once a year, what happens when we have more races here and our youth riders start growing a better mentality towards when to switch on and off that race mindset? So like the mainland guys, it's a little, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking too much on it, but it's easier to just get to a race. Maybe you have to drive a few hours, but you have more options to just take on a race and be in that race mode, that race mindset, and it's a little cheaper. So locally, if we can get more people to put on events for our youth and see how much more we can advance in racing, because we're progressing. You learn so much from just a single race, that if we can have more of it, how much better could we do in the mainland? So that's a little call out for everybody here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, travels as far as driving, here in the States and stuff. Yeah. Sure, it adds up and takes its toll, but it's completely different than having to ship a bike, fly, rent a car, get an Airbnb, or figure some other place out to stay. Like, it adds a whole nother level and expense that, just makes it a lot more challenging. Yeah.
It's like now it's like guys are talking about having 2 or 3 bikes that live here. I need my bike in the mainland, I need my bike here. And now it's like you ship your bike to Kauai. Now you just don't have, or even the Kauai guys shipping their bikes here. Now you don't have a bike to just kind of keep your training regimen going for that week. It's gone.
Right.
So, like, it's like, oh, it's 10 grand for a decent bike these days, whereas 10 grand before was a brand new bike. So how to kind of just manage it all? And do you buy a mobile home up there and you drive that around?
Yeah.
A lot of logistics. It's very expensive. And like I did a podcast not too long ago with I can't remember their names. You know, they were down here for Labor Day on Kauai, and I was kind of touching on like I'm wanting to start a nonprofit and build sponsors and things like that. Take that money and then put it back towards whoever is racing in the mainland. I kind of more want it for the youth racers, and put it towards them. But there's guys that aren't youth racers who still need it, like Kana. He's not a youth anymore, but to just put it back to them and find ways to help out our local guys, because once it gets too expensive, we're not going to be there anymore. I mean, you'll get new guys to come up, but it'll be a shame to see like Kana or Cavello and those guys just like, I want to race, I'm doing good, but I don't have any more money,
Right.
People are only going to want to keep buying banana bread from you for so long or whatever it is you're fundraising,
Right.
So it's tough. I mean, if we could find another way, like that nonprofit that I want to start, find another way to just generate some kind of a kitty from it, other sponsors, industry guys or manufacturers, if they're willing to help us out and get us to make it out there. We're always making a big charge right now, and we're clearly we're not here just for the entertainment purposes. We're here to make a statement, and the statement's very well made.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. It's great to see. Yeah, super excited for this year. And again, best of luck this coming week. I mean, I think we'll get this out hopefully Friday, so it'll be exhibition weekend and then main race a week later.
Yeah. It'd be fun.
Right on. Well, really appreciate coming on and telling us all about it. And good luck.
Thank you for having me on, and we'll see how it goes. We gotta bring more of the Euro guys out here too.
Yeah.
I know there's a good talk with those guys all wanting to come out. We got all the mainline guys coming out, still want to come out. So I want to put a little pressure on the manufacturers. Come on, let's go. This is where everybody wants to be. It's Hawaii.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you're at work and you're on vacation at the same time. It's Hawaii. Let's go. Everybody wants to be here.
Yeah. No, it'd be really cool to see some of those boys come over and get after it.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
All right. Well, again, thanks for coming on, and
thank you for having me.
You bet.
Right on.